priceless.
As you move to the
Yes.
next slide, Maha, I wanted to bring in Susie's
Oh.
voice. She offered a commentary a few minutes back stating that it involves the self-esteem to sit at peace in your wholesome power. And that's, I think, related to the meditation. So yeah, we can
Thank you, Susie. That's beautiful.
go to this slide now.
Yeah, and thank you, Michael. And Susie, would you be willing to take us through the victim fight and flight?
Maha, I think she said she was traveling today, so it may be difficult because she's listening and on the road.
Okay, then Michael.
Certainly. The victim's fight and flight. Quote from Ayn Rand: evil requires the sanction of the victim. Profound. Anxiety is on the rise. Living in the 21st century has advantages, but also some very real challenges. Between the speed of technology and the novel forms of communication that multiply commitments, I am increasingly experiencing stress and overwhelm. In times of stress, my brain triggers physical resources to support or to respond to perceived threats, going into the fight or flight response. This is an automatic physiological reaction to an event that is perceived as threatening. It is most helpful if I was running from a dangerous animal. It isn't when I am bombarded with news. My victim specializes in fear or false evidence appearing real, a perception of threat that activates the sympathetic nervous system and triggers an acute stress response that prepares the body to fight or flee, yes, but also to freeze or freak. Nevertheless, when physiology is at work, I often feel the overwhelm in the form of quickening, tightening, paralyzing sensations. When I live by, what's that?
I was going to ask any comments on your part as to.
There's just the dramatic. I spent a number of years as a holistic practitioner, and the way we had to brand our work was stress management. And if I consider now what is health, it's stress management. It's shadow work to look at the places where I've attached to an unconscious narrative. So, the real practicality of shadow work is health, in the sense that I'm no longer playing victim. And it has a very physical response. When I live by the hormones of stress day after day, which is likely to be 70% of the time for most of us, I'm living in survival, in scarcity. The more I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop, the more I turn on the primitive part of the nervous system. This is how I'm always trying to control or predict an outcome. Living under these emergency chemicals, I am not internally focused. Instead, my attention hopelessly scans my environment. Urged by stress hormones, the brain begins to fire out of order. And when the brain is incoherent, I'm incoherent. For me to be working effectively, I need a brain that works effectively, a brain that can instruct me to rest and digest. Moreover, when the different compartments of my brain no longer synchronize, how could I have the power to say, quote, let there be my goal, and see that my goal was already created? It's impossible, which leads me to feel victimized. More stress.
Yep.
Vicious circle.
Exactly. Exactly.